How is everybody?
I'm good. Hey, Scott. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Matt.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing?
All right, we are on YouTube.
Yeah. What's up, YouTube land? What's up, Zoom land? This is Coral Street out, Rockin' Robin. We here. We got some creators coming together, making some art. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to be inspired at each other. We're going to do a little vibration. Thank y'all for joining us. We got the one and only Scott Dickmore in the building. We got Ashley Ernest in the building. We got Matt Workmeister. Am I saying that? Workmeister. Am I saying that right, Matt?
No one's watching yet, just FYI.
Yeah, Workmeister's great.
Yeah.
Workmeister, I'm saying it right?
We're such showmen. We're like, yeah, you're saying it's great.
We got the one and only, the incomparable, talented Carter Ford.
Thank you very much.
We are in here. We're gonna get some art happening. You're gonna be inspired. Hey, you might see a tree and might want to wrap some Robin to the tree with your own art. I don't know. It's gonna be.
We have someone watching.
Thanks for watching.
We have a person watching. I know it's Renee, but thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, Renee. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you for all you do, Renee. Renee Horst, NKCDC, owes you a special honor because you be holding us down here at Coral Street Art House, and we appreciate you for making this happen with us. Tweet. If you're on Twitter, you can tweet this is happening. That was the original from 1957. Now we're going to go to the one, Bobby Day. Maybe it's the same one. Is that the same thing, Scott? I don't know.
Yeah.
Look at Scott. Scott looking like he in a passionate room of fire and desire. Yeah, get it.
I'm in hell.
Rockin' Robin.
Hey. Oh, Rockin' Robin Arch. Okay, sorry, my bad. I looked at my text messages. Cheers to everybody. Whether you drinking juice or water, we are rocking our robins tonight. What color are robins? I've seen a red robin. Are all robins red? That's a question, Carter.
I think they have like reddish bellies, right? Most of them, like an auburn, right?
Robins are cousins of cardinals. Are they related or are they two separate species? Anybody bird watchers, comment in the comments or something.
They have orange breasts.
I love a good one. Played in some sauce. Very delicious.
With LA women. Just kidding.
So we want to thank y'all for watching. We're going to get this party started soon. You're going to experience the talented vibrations of some of Coral Street Art House finest. You know, we live in this building. We love Coral Street Art House. We love the community. There's so many other artists that live in this building, but it's just a couple of us coming together just to share and be inspired by each other, because that's what art does. It brings people together. It creates community and connection. And we just wanted to give this gift to you all. So maybe if it's thundering outside, maybe something in this event tonight will make you inspired. And hey, if you feel up for it, if you feel inspired by what you see tonight, by an original work or the interpret work, hey, we would love to see you create your own iteration. Remix that bad boy again, and we can keep this rockin' Robin. Right, Carter?
Right, Rockin' Robin, tweet, Rockin' Robin.
Wait, Carter, tell me the first time.
But I agree.
Tell me first how you experienced the Rockin' Robin, because you actually done this before. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the first time I did it, it was a college group. I was working for this student-run theater company, and we were doing this cabaret, and I think for some reason was like, I don't know why like I feel uncomfortable doing like the work that I was already working on. Someone else told me that they had done this show that was all about inspiration, where you give that work to someone else and that's not your main focus. Your main focus is your response to their work, and it just goes around in a little circle where all of you kind of get to, you know, have a little partner in that really nice moment of creativity. And I did it once or twice and I really enjoyed it.
So it's because of this experience, we are here today. That is Jackson 5's version of Rockin' Robin. We just heard Bobby Day's version, but Jackson 5 is Rockin' Robin. What is everybody excited about? Anybody, what are you excited about for tonight? I'm gonna go with you, Matt. What are you excited about tonight? How you feeling at this moment?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. Actually, you have to turn off the noise. Your volume.
This is what happens in the Zoom room. Ticka boom boom. Let's shake your up.
All right, you got the echo, yeah.
Place.
Sometimes we're interchangeable.
Yeah, okay. Now you won't have no reverb. All right, yeah. So like everything's going well, man. I'm so excited. I want to go and hear everyone's emotions, hear what everyone is getting into and liking and loving or hating, and something that's bringing you down. That we're able to join together and uplift each other, and to go and bring the energy up from down, so that we can go and be one.
Come on, Matt. Talk about the up and down and around. How you feeling, Ashley? Excited about tonight? Ashley's making it twerk. You making it do? Listen, we gonna rock and roll.
No, I want to hear it.
All right, here you go, Ashley. You got it.
We're working with 2 computers in a room, so I'm trying to stop some reverb. I'm doing good, excited.
Yay!
Company, excited for the talk, and we'll see where the night brings us.
That's it. The unknown is always the precipice of evolution and excitement. How you feeling, Scott Bickmore? Oh, you about to say something else, Ashley? Go ahead.
I'm very happy to be here.
I can't hear anything.
We're happy to have you in the womb of passion.
Thanks.
In the
Hey,
red.
before we start, can I ask, does anyone happen to know whoever Cheryl number 202 trying to join
Yes,
the
we
Zoom?
do know them. Yep, they're trying to come on in. They live in the beer.
If anyone wants to text them and send them, I'll even put the YouTube link in this chat if you want to send it to them.
Yeah, send it to me, Carter, and I'll send it to them. Trying to get in the mix. Oh, I can
I
do
want
it.
everyone to watch. I just, not everyone in the Zoom, but thank you for watching.
All right, let me copy this. Okay. Can you text it to me? I'm Carter, like on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
Too, me too.
Carter, how you feeling about tonight? You excited?
I'm feeling good. Yeah. I feel like I usually write funnier things, but I'm actually really excited for both of the things that I wrote tonight.
You know what? When art is displayed in any form, it's a gift that is to be shared. And when it is shared, it is always received in the most excellent way. Oh, it's a Michael Jackson Rockin' Robin? Wait, is that the same thing? I just went from the Jackson 5 to Michael Jackson. Okay, that's actually, nope, that's the same one I already did. Hello. Well, guess that's it. Oh, it's kid songs. Oh, nope.
All right.
We are inviting people in. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for coming through to the Core Street Art House Basin, the Rockin' Robin Showcase. Am I saying that right? I should know it, right? I should know. I should know the name of the event. We're rocking in the treetop all day long, getting inspired by the art and the song. What you're going to experience tonight is going to be lit. So, open your hearts and let's get to it. That ain't really, it is what it is. Shout out to all the YouTube people. If you're watching this tomorrow, welcome. If you're watching this a week away, welcome. If you're watching this right now, welcome. Carter, can they comment, answer questions? You can interact with us, let us know what you're feeling about it. And, shout out once again to Renee Horst. You're up in here. We love you, Renee. And to the NKCDC, as well as Coral Street Art House. Thank you so much. I love being a part of this artistic community. And so, I'm so happy
It's gonna
to
be great, yeah. Before we start, I just wanna, anyone who is watching, you can comment on the Facebook event. Any questions that you have about what you end up seeing and how we are inspired by different things. But also, if you like, I will be keeping and monitoring the YouTube channel as well. So you can comment on that YouTube channel if you like as well. So just send all your questions. That'll be like the really cool last part of this show. And yeah, I think we're ready to get started, Starfan.
All right, we are going to get this Rockin' Robin situation popping off. So before we start to get into the vibe, I like to take some breaths. I don't know where people are coming from or where they're going, but when you take some breaths, you're able to clear out the palate and breathe in the stuff. So we're going to take some breaths together. You don't have to if you don't want
I thought you said breasts.
Oh, well, if you want to do that, feel free to touch your
Because
breasts
we're
as
talking
well.
about the Robin breast. Sorry. Breasts.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And if you want to play a hydration
Okay,
game,
I guess that would work too.
anytime, if you want to make this a game, anytime you hear the word rockin' or robin, you can take a sip of your hydration of choice, whether it be water or any other ferment. So, to really add an extra layer to the game. Anytime you hear rock, robin, just take a sip of your water or whatever you're drinking of a fermented choice or not. All right, we're going to start this. Everybody, we were supposed to say breaths, but you can do that on your own through the night.
Are people on it?
People are
That's
watching,
They're
yes.
watching. And this is it's almost like omniscient, because people can watch it all the time. So,
Yeah.
We do have our first comment, and it is from Renee, ready for this vibe, and we are ready for this vibe.
And the vibe is set. The
Damn.
rocket is Robin. Coral Street Hard House presents. Wait, I'm getting a message. Wait, Carter, Carter, can you text me the vibe, the meeting passcode? Someone is texting me trying to get in.
Who needs to get into the meeting? We're all here. They just need the YouTube link.
Okay, can you text me the YouTube link?
I did.
Did you?
He did in the chat, or they did.
Yeah.
I also texted it to you.
Oh, you did? I didn't get it.
Mhm.
All right, it's okay. We're gonna keep it pushing. So, Carter, we're gonna start this rockin' wobbin' tweet with you, Carter Ford. In my opinion, brilliant, suave, unique, innovative. Tell the people that haven't experienced you personally a little bit about yourself and your art form.
Sure. Totally. Yeah. I'm an actor. I've acted for a long time, but I really enjoy writing. I go back and forth between storytelling, true stories about my own life, kind of mediating those questions that people might have about racism or colorism or any type of experience that I've had. My big dream is to write some really big plays, and specifically, satirical comedies that make people really laugh, but also really think by the end of them. So that's what I do.
Amazing. And what do you love about being a part of the Coral Street Art House community?
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. No, seriously, I love meeting all of you guys. This is great, even that I get to do this with all of you guys. And really, yeah, it's just been a blessing since I moved to Philadelphia to move here and, experience everyone else's art, and also talk to people who are like-minded and enjoy talking about art. It's awesome.
And if people want to, when they experience your brilliance tonight, not to hype it off too much, but everybody here is talented, we're all light beings of our own creativity. How can people support you, find you, and really support what you're doing and what you're creating in the city and beyond?
Sure, yeah, I don't have that much of an internet presence, but to be honest, I love everyone. If you want to friend me on Facebook, you can. It's Carter O'Brien Ford with a lowercase b, R-I-E-N. But other than that, I think the best way and the way that I do tell most people about what I'm doing is on my Instagram page, which is mostly for telling people, what projects I'm up to, and that is at C as in Carter, Ford as in my last name, and then the letter O, so SC Fordo.
All right, so we're gonna get this popping. Ashley, if you wouldn't mind holding up your piece of creativity that was, let's take a gaze. Woo! Oh, it's good.
Oh.
You're getting lost in blue.
We can't see it at all.
Listen, you're in the blue
Background.
vibrational. Oh, I like it though. It's like a water bath. Okay, we see it. We
I don't,
see
maybe
it.
if you can hold up the whole thing, maybe in front of Matt's screen, that might be better because he doesn't have a background.
Yeah, give it to Matt.
All right, so Matt is holding, let's
Absolutely.
be clear, Matt is holding up the
Hold
work,
it
but
up, Matt.
Ashley created this piece. This is Ashley's piece that Matt is holding up. Now, right now, get yourselves together for Carter Ford's inspirational interpretation of the brilliance that is Ashley Ernest. Let's go.
Thank you very much. This is it's a short story. This is a short story that I called Abandoned and Bandaged. Sitting in a sterile room, I wear a face covering half mask with many frequent cloth kisses on the left side of my top lip. This woman with a powerful presence and a smile as wide as the Nile is long opens the door and gestures for me to come through. Walking towards her now and pulling my right hand up to secure my covering over my naked ear, hand on my wrist, the woman stops me. No need for that. I'm so clean, she says. My gaze raises to meet hers. Could you not touch me though? I asked. The query met with sarcastic compliance. Finishing my face security, we walked down the hallway to a two-way mirror, almost identical to the one in my Sunday school classroom. My nostalgia is telling me to feel gleeful, but my caution is, well, telling me to be cautious. I asked the woman how many of them have homes. As many as you'd like to take. She laughs and prolongs that laughter as if an invitation for me to join. Of course, I'd like to pretend I'm having a merry old time, but I'm both confused and concerned. She continues, but seriously, we had one left behind per day, so none of them now. Every child in this room is set on their own personal town map carpet. You know, one boy sitting on a railroad map, one girl sitting on a city skyscraper map. Oh, and two children are sitting on a farm map. About 11 children in the room, all 3 feet apart, except for the presumed brother and sister on that farm map carpet. Any reason you think their parents don't come back for them? I ask. I'm surprised the parents do, she responds. They get signed up for this guinea pig project and their parents take the money. It's supposed to be used to protect themselves from their children when they come home at night, but it's definitely easier and way more fun to just leave them there. Leave them here. I involuntarily ask, fun? She stares at me. You should lighten up a bit because you're really ruining my mood. There's no connecting with this woman, so I'm just gonna shut up until this is all over. She starts to ramble on about who started this facility, why it's helping the world, and why viewing this as humane is better than viewing the diseased children as less than human. This is better, I guess it's better. I start to make eye contact with each child. I know they can't see me, probably only vague shapes of each other reflecting off of the distant mirror, but I still catalog each pair of eyes, those eyes and those eyes, and these eyes, that face, what is on their face? What kind of masks are they wearing, I ask. They just look weird. They're adhesive. That way the children can't take them off themselves. It takes 2 adults' hands to leverage and pull them off. It's the most dangerous part of my job, trying not to hurt them when I have to pull it off. You know, rip it like a Band-Aid, am I right, she says. I involuntarily, again, I shout, Band-Aids, over their faces, Band-Aids. What happened to lightening up, she forcefully asks. I shut up again and stare. The room is so bright, yellows and pinks and greens. And its purpose seems to make this experience mellow. Do I think that's me? What are you dying from? She asked me, and I gazed into her eyes, confused and concerned, but for her more than the children somehow. Is she heartless or is she coping? Maybe she forgot she was coping and now she's just void of that empathy that made her apply to this job to begin with. Like an 18-year-old going to veterinary school just to realize that half the job is putting dogs down. She changes her tone. Should I not have asked you that? I should go, I say. You're not going to adopt any of these kids for your last days? I mean, it would really mean a lot for them to live like a real family, even for just a little while. I don't look at her, but I do ponder on this compassionate shift. Then to really sell me on the last day's adoption program, she says, plus it's really fun to rip off those adhesive mats. I'll think about it, I say. I turn and leave, and though I'm not looking at her, I know she's waving at me with that blind enthusiasm that empatheticless people always seem to have. Thank you very much.
Yeah! Yeah! You took us on a journey, okay? Carter, you took us on a journey. Listen, give your snaps, give your claps, give your doobly raps. Ashley, that was inspired by you, boo. That was inspired by you, boo. You dig? Listen, y'all can put, I know it's virtual, but we'll talk about how you felt later, but I hope it resonated in your vortex and you can keep, Carter, thank you for sharing your art and your creativity. That was beautifully, I mean, you just painted the picture and I was in the vibrationals. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Carter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Ashley's next up deck. We're gonna tell us, right, Carter? Am I right? Ashley's next.
Yeah.
This is
All
a
right.
response to Scott's work, though.
It
Right,
is. So
correct.
you're next, but we need to see the piece that Scott gave you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to interview.
Wait, I have to post what Scott gave me?
No.
No, Scott's gonna post it. But I'm gonna ask you some questions,
I
Ashley.
gotta post what I.
All right.
So, Ashley, no, I need you on, Ashley. Ashley, turn your mic on.
Okay, what's up?
Okay, Ashley, I'm familiar with your work. You do a lot of different variations of the visual form. I've got to experience your creativity in the building, throughout the building, popping up out in the city. But for those who don't know you and what you do, tell others a little bit about yourself and your art forms that you enjoy that inspire you.
Oh, it varies. I'm in various media. I love working with different materials. Currently, I'm working on a big collage series. I love cutting up some paper and just meditating and gluing.
We need that meditation and glue. Come on, you should teach a class.
I know, yeah. Well, I have a background in jewelry. Worked in some fabric forms. It's all across the board. I just love making.
And what do you love about being a part of the Coral Street Art House community? What do you love about being in this vibe?
Oh, just the diversity of the building. At the end of the day, I know someone always will have my back. There's always I walk in the building and I know I'm safe. I know that if I ever had anything I would go to someone in the building. That's what I love the most.
Good. And if people want to support you, if people want to support your art and what you do, how can they support you? Whether it's through a website, through social media, or you might be reclusive. They got to find you in these streets. Follow the follow the artwork. You dig what I'm saying? Tell us how we can support your art and what you do.
So you can go to my website at ashleyernest.com. I think my name is on the screen. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're in Philadelphia, we can meet up in social distance.
6 feet apart, masked up. We don't got our mask on because we're in a house and we can breathe, just to let y'all know, for those who are concerned, we are safe in our homes. Okay, so Scott, show us the picture that inspired Ashley's artwork.
Okay, bear with me for a second. All right, let me.
Hey, we can bear. All right, get your hydrations up. Keyword, rocking and robbing. Everybody take 2 sips of their hydrationals.
Okay, I think this is gonna work. Are you guys ready?
Hey, oh, yes, I am. All right, let's see. So this is let me just get this before Scott hits play. This is what Scott created that Ashley is going to now express her inspirational interpretation art. Get ready to see Sniper. Hit it, Scott.
Okay, I want to try and is it full screen for you guys?
Yes, it is. It's full screen.
All right.
I'm gonna ask everybody, if you like what you see, you can respond in the YouTube comments. And Scott, we're just gonna mute our camera and our
You
thing.
might want to get comfortable because it's 21 seconds.
Hey, okay, we're ready. We're ready.
Thanks.
All right, here
We
we
might
go.
need to play it twice. Whatever.
Ready?
Go ahead. And
Don't go down there. There's snipers down there.
you gotta play that again. You gotta play that again. One more time for the people.
I know there's a lot of stuff that, you don't catch the first time, but,
Hey.
I don't want to abuse it.
Let it ride. Just one
I
more
didn't
time.
hear, I
Okay,
didn't hear the volume.
I'll do it one more time, but that's it.
Okay, all right, all right. Respect, respect.
Okay. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Don't go down there. There's snipers down there.
Don't go down there. There's snipers down there. Ashley, it's your turn, baby. What you get from that? Let's show what you created. I'm gonna say that all the time. Don't go down there. There's snipers down there. Go ahead, Ashley. It's all you, boo.
So when I received your video, Scott, I was, I loved every second of it. I thought it was so interesting. I started to make something that was very much based on a visual medium. So I began making something, but then I was journaling this morning and I came up with this. So I'm gonna read something.
Cool.
You ready for me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I think I need to put the volume up or something.
No, we can hear you if you're reading.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. The world is opening up, but still it's closing down. I forgot what it's like to be confused for a moment. We were open and now we are not. We were getting used to something and here we are back again, feeling the grief and sadness this country has become. Wait a minute though, we were already here. Racism has always existed. I have always had white privilege though my grandmother doesn't understand this as she sits in a nursing home confused, not knowing that she has sinned. I see God in a time like this, a God that is beautiful and filled with light. Though I wish not to leave this place, I do wish it would end. That's the whole thing.
Wow. Wow. Come on. You better meditate and journal it up. Woo. We getting deep up in this mother effer. You thought we was gonna hit you with the layers and the bobs.
Yeah.
Come on, Ashley.
Thanks.
How you feeling?
I'm doing this community health work right now. I'm training and it's helping me kind of see a bigger light of things, just trying to understand where I am and who I need to have conversations with and the conversations I have with myself. So, Scott's video could be seen as something that it's very abstract, which is the way I took it at first, and I was moved by the visuals of it, because my thing with it, I was really attracted to your background that you used. I'm not usually a wordy person when it comes down to the art that I usually am attracted to. So I was really intrigued by the colors and that's why I started to do collage first. And then it really wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So I, just kind of took the idea, there's some sadness behind it. I mean, there's a sniper involved and snipers aren't known to be positive souls might not be the right word. The things guns have an association with in this country can be really scary. So that resonated with me later once I had slept on it for a few days. So that's the whole darkness behind it. And I don't think there's any way other than to feel a little bit dark every once in a while. I'm not trying to bring the mood down. I'm just trying to have an open conversation.
No,
I
that's
also-
good. And I would
Oh,
say
good.
darkness is, we could keep that popped in for the conversation part.
All
But,
right.
you know,
Okay.
darkness is just as valuable as light, you know? We tend to not, we tend to be afraid of the darkness in all of us, and we tend to hide it and shame it. But they teach us just as much as the moon, as it's like the sun shines as the moon, but we're gonna hold that because we're gonna finish the rock and rob, and we're gonna put a button on that, and we are gonna continue the artistic collaboration and vibration. Everybody take a rock and robin sip real quick of your hydration of choice, clear the palate.
I'd also like to remind anyone that is watching that you can comment while it's
Boop.
going on. You don't have to wait until the comment section. If you have any questions or if you just want to show your support for specific responses and pieces that you've heard, you can do that now or whenever you like.
That's it. Interact today, tomorrow, forever. You heard? All right, Scott. Scott, it's your turn, Scott. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, Scott.
I'm just kidding.
Scott emerges from the red womb, illuminated, ready to share, ready to care.
Streaming
In-
live from hell.
That too. All right.
It's
Zoom,
not
zoom.
easy to get down and you think it would be, but it's not.
You know, if you have a direct route, you know, it's easy access. You heard? Hello.
Let's not digress.
So, all right, before we hear the piece that Matthew created for you, Scott, I experienced you in all forms. You're a horticulturalist around the Coral Street Art House community. You know, you try to build plant and life. You create. You do all sorts of things. Tell the people who aren't familiar with you, Scott Bickmore, who you are and some of the stuff that you do and the art forms that make you happy and bring you joy.
I'd like to answer that with a quote from the movie Barfly.
Nice.
The eternal question, who are you?
Ooh.
The eternal answer, I don't know.
That's real. And how can people, I mean, if you don't want people to follow you, they don't have to. If you want to remain an elusive mystery that this pops up and bring artistic.
I mean, look, I'm just as curious as you are.
That's real. That's real. All right, Matt. Are you ready to share with us what you created for Scott to create from?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Let's get ready.
All right, so the name of this, you have to take off the one next to it. It's number 2. Is it off? Number 2?
Number 2s is happening, but not of the
All right.
kind that you think. All right, we back.
Sorry about that. We're in the, so Ashley and I are in the same room.
Ooh,
So
that's beautiful. We're knit,
yeah, so
connected,
that
knit
her,
together.
yeah, so her ear plugs aren't working for her computer, so I just had to turn it off. So I apologize. Stay went out there. All right.
Hey,
so
it's okay. It's we in the moment. This is organic. This is live. This is visceral. No apologies needed. Okay,
All right.
for those of y'all coming in, Matt is gonna read the original piece on which Scott created a piece from. It's gonna make sense soon. Matt, go ahead, make it to work.
All right. The name of my piece is Smorgasbord World Restaurant. In a time of global pandemic, politicians' words are simply toxic. My backyard is lost in the shuffle, while others enjoy a nice little truffle. The arts are shoved aside like trash, while the leader in charge grows a tiny mustache. People resort to a needle and a gun to pass the time or have a little fun. Lights go up, the hands go down. Why does it matter if you're white or brown? You and me are the same, but call us each by our own name. Pass the buck with a handshake. The world is sick like an earthquake. I want to help my further BLL enlightenment because brothers are being pressed into the pavement. Outside summer and the breeze does blow. Is it 4th of July? Because every night is a show. We are all the same in this rat race. The only rat here is old Orange Face. This is our time to let our voices count. This is our sermon on the mount. People resort to a needle or a gun to pass the time or to have a little fun. Lights go up and hands come down. Why does it matter if you're white or brown? You and me are the same, but call us each by our own name. Pass the buck with a handshake. The world is sick, like an earthquake. Love will reign supreme above all. Shove your profits into a bathroom stall. My brothers and sisters, we will unite, stand against oppressors, and continue the fight. Prove to all we stand as one, as shine as bright as the morning sun. Free to be who we want in this smorgasbord world restaurant. People resort to a needle or a gun to pass the time or to have a little fun. Lights go up and hands come down. Why does it matter if you're white or brown? You and me are the same, but call us each by our own name. Pass the buck with a handshake. The world is sick, like an earthquake.
And now, here's Scott Bickmore presenting what is inspired by this smorgasbord of a piece. Hit it, Scott.
Wait, what am I supposed to do?
You're
Why are you
Scott.
laughing?
You're supposed to now share what you created from
Oh,
Matthew's
okay.
piece.
All right,
You
okay.
with it.
Well,
I
listen,
love you, Scott.
I hope everyone's got good speakers, because this is a sound thing. So if you need a second, plug in your headphones or whatever.
Turn your radios up, turn your TVs up, turn your volumes up. We're trying to
I hope this works. All right. I hope this works.
All right, if it doesn't, we'll try it again. No worries. Let's get it.
Okay. Oh shit.
Put it on a beat.
Hold on.
Smorgasbord the feet.
Here
Get
we
it,
go.
Matthew. While this is waiting, Rockin' Robin, everybody, Rockin' Robin.
Oh. All right. It starts out quiet, so just bear with it.
Hey, Scott, we're ready.
Yeah, I'm supposed to play along.
Yeah! We was in a whole vibration. We went from the house party to the rocking show to the vibrational woo. This is how we get down at the Rockin' Robin, okay? Inspirational creativity up in this right now, in the moment. This is the first time any of us are seeing this works happen right now. And we're sharing it with y'all. So if y'all love what y'all see, feel free to comment in the comments below, whether you're watching this right now live or you watch this tomorrow or next week. We are just organically vibing from where we are, where we're processing the world, how we're feeling, because that's the beauty of art. Art creates inspiration. And, you know, we're just connecting in the uniqueness of our humanity in this moment. So thank y'all so much for being here, for tuning in, for supporting us. And we are finally, can you believe it, at our last round of cross section of Rockin' Robin. So I'm going to take it to Matthew. Hey, Matt. What's up, Matt Workmeister? Your last name reminds me of a delicious hot dog that is like, I was like, let me get a Matt Workmeister with the works. You heard? So tell us, Matt, you know, we've got to experience your lyricism and your poetry, but tell the people who don't really know and haven't really experienced you, what type of art do you enjoy? How do you choose to express yourself? Talk a little bit with the viewers and us about, you know, your artistic self.
Sure. Yeah, you know, welcome. Thank everyone for reaching out and seeing all of our vulnerable side. And, you know, it's, for me, a little bit interesting getting out of my comfort zone to do my first, you know, art event, which this is. Now, I have previously worked with a couple of my friends, and we did a satire comedy show on YouTube that we did about 8 episodes. And, you know, that was kind of fun. So like I wrote and acted in that. That's kind of one of my mediums. I like to, you know, play guitar. I like to write music. And then I also do visual art where
Nice.
I create movies and stuff. And then I'll also work for sports, you know, recording stuff, creating graphics and that kind of stuff. So I've had a large encompassing love for art and not just, you know, spoken word or, you know, drawing, that it goes to musical and, you know, sports.
So your Crayola box is very diverse. It's
Absolutely.
got a lot of different options, and depending on what color is required, you bust it out on them.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna right now hear Carter Ford, your piece, Carter, that you wrote for Matthew to write an iteration of. So y'all give your attention to Carter Ford, who I believe wrote a monologue. Am I right, Carter?
That is correct, yeah.
So Carter's gonna share this monologue that he wrote for Matthew, and Matthew is then gonna share his piece that was inspired by Carter's piece. I hope y'all getting the vibe of the Rockin' Robin. Y'all enjoying y'all time. Please show us some love and emojis, hand claps, hands up in the comments. Give it up for the one and only Carter Ford sharing the piece.
Thank you very much. Scene 1. Hey, so what are you? A human being? Like, what are you made of? Organs and such? No. Like, what's your mix? Oh, well, mostly water. But eventually I always end up revealing that I'm half black, half Irish. I actually had a guy sitting behind me at the SATs tap me on the shoulder to politely tell me, hey, you're not allowed to do that. He was referring to the check mark I put next to African American scholarship. I politely showed him that I checked off black and white in the race portion on the front page. Who's black? He said. Well, a lot of people are, including yourself. No. Like, what's your mix? Which parent is black? I didn't understand the point of the question. I never really understand the point of any of these questions, but once he found out it was my mother, he yet again, politely, told me to mark down white because that's how it works. Do you think I look white, dude? Well, you look almost white. Some could say that I look white and almost black. Dare I say that I look half white and half black. He continued to insist that I cross out that scholarship bit, and I told him, if you're really black, you'll know that I don't want to face the wrath of the woman who insisted that I check this African American scholarship off. He stood up and told the teacher to make me take it off my exam. He then explained to the curator that it's actually the father that decides the race of the child. And it's my mother who's Black. So the curator stared at him and said one thing I'll never forget. He said, "You're lucky there isn't a science portion on this test. Now sit down." After the test, I told my girlfriend about this crazy experience, and she responded appropriately, "That is so rude." But then she said, "Why did you check off white as well?" Okay, I know the old one drop rule, but why can't I identify as being half my father and half my mother? I've met many biracial people, but two will always stick in my mind. It's my friend, darker than me, who always said that she was white to the bone and hates Black people. Then, of course, my other friend, about my skin tone, who says that white people are too ignorant for her to identify with any of them. That's how it goes, though. You know, this is a black and white society, and the middle bit kind of scares people. I've gotten called the N-word, cracker, numerous racist slurs pertaining to Jews, Hispanic people, and Italians. And my favorite one, I was playing tennis, and an old woman asked me, "Is it still racist to call you people gumbo?" Being called a name is one thing, but the constant questions are what kind of get to me. You know, is it still racist? And you people. She followed her questions with the same statement everyone does. "Yeah, you know what I mean." Do I know? Of course I know. There isn't a week that goes by that I don't get asked the same stupid question. I'm sorry, I can't be Black and I can't be white. What can I be? Classifying yourself means you have a group, but for me, it's like a never-ending game of monkey in the middle. You're Black, you're white, you're Black, you're white, yearning to catch this ball and finally be accepted. That would just be too easy. You know, talk more Black, dress more Black. Otherwise, you're just almost white. You know what's funny about being almost white and being that half monkey in the middle? I don't know. Still trying to figure that out, but hopefully I can, because that way I can start joking with everyone else. Thank you very much.
Yes, Carter, you better come on with the truth and the facts and the experience. Thank you for sharing that. We hold space for you. We appreciate you. Matthew, let us know what inspired you from what you heard. Let us know what you created from that piece. Let's give it up
Absolutely.
for Matthew Workmeister.
Woo! Yes, thank you, Carter, for the great piece. I just want to say, you know what? I don't like to fit into boxes. Here's the start of my boxes. This, yeah,
There it goes.
that you can have for that box. This is gonna have for a box. And here's my piece that I decided to write to go and say, you know, I am life. Love all that I am.
Woo!
Awesome.
Yes. Matt, you want
Nice,
to
man.
hold that up? I gotta get all the words in there. I didn't see all the words. Now you got hope, awesome, angry, teach, trust, open, awesome. Go to the side, other side. You got the yin yang sign, growth, educated. Thank you so much.
There's also
Give it up, y'all.
learn. There's also
Learn.
learn in there.
Come
And
on,
then-
because it's shining like the yellow light, like the sun. Insecure, that's beautiful. Thank you all. Listen, that was give it up. Give it up. That was the
Nice,
first
man.
part,
Good job.
the
Awesome.
sharing. Now we're about to go into our second part, which is the conversations. Now, these conversations, you're now going to get to experience, or we're going to get to talk about how each pair felt, because this is actually, we're not even playing. Unless you're watching this tomorrow, then it already happened. But if you're watching it today, this is the first time that each of the artists that participated are experiencing the work that was inspired by. So we're going to start the first conversation. Let me get my homie Carter Ford in the screen. Let me get Ashley Ernest in the screen, and I'm going to ask Matthew. I'm going to ask you, Matthew, and you, Scott, to mute your video and mute your sound. So for this particular point, excellent. And mute your video, Scott, if you can. You're just going to hit stop video. Perfect. All right. Now, Ashley and Carter, talk
Yeah.
about, first of all, I'll go with you, Ashley. How did you take and what inspired you? What lit you up about what Carter did with your artwork?
Well, can we hear it again?
Sure.
The whole thing?
Yes, please.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because I feel like I interpreted it one way and then I began to interpret it a different way, and I'm not sure if I just misunderstood. I'm a visual person, so
Well, I mean, I'd love to hear what your interpretation, like both of
Yeah,
them
it's
were. I
okay.
mean, yeah.
Go
No,
from
Yeah,
the
it's
nut.
okay. Yeah.
no, can you read it again?
I mean,
Well, listen, Ashley, it's okay. It's okay, my love. You can.
But it had a negative impact on me, I feel. Like,
Okay, that's okay. Let's honor
That's
that. That's okay.
yeah, so I just wanted to, like, I'm kind of disturbed by it, sad.
Okay.
And I just took it in that way, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's completely fine. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sorry that you felt that way, but I'm also kind of, the thing is I wanted people to feel different feelings, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a happy story, I can tell you that. Even when I read it, I wouldn't expect anyone to interpret it as a happy story.
But there was a beginning part about, you were talking about the blankets and layers or something to that effect.
I do. I mentioned the carpets that each child in this room are sitting on, and I kind of start describing each different type of carpet. I don't know if you know about, like kids in, nursery and different schools will have like that railroad carpet or that skyscraper
Oh, yeah, I
carpet.
remember that for sure. You had to sit between the lines. I used to always get up. I was always in trouble, but I'm an artist now, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really felt connected to that in a positive way, and then the story took a turn.
Mm-hmm.
It was unexpected. Not that that's a bad thing. I guess I just got a little startled from it. So especially with everything that's going on in the world, and when we bring up children and abuse, it becomes this really large conversation. So that's why it's one of those things that can really hit home, especially being a person who identifies as a female too. That I could bear a child, and I think there's some sort of connection in that way. So
Yeah.
that there is a connection in that way. Anytime child abuse is brought up, it that can become a little personal. Like,
No, I understand completely. Yeah, I think for me, I mean, so I looked at the image that you had sent me, and I really like the bright colors, and I think for me, the more and more I looked at it, for some reason the title, Abandoned and Bandage, kind of came to me, and I started thinking about I started thinking about the connections on all the the different shapes that were in the image that you did. And I was thinking about those connections, and then there were certain shapes that kind of looked like masks to me. And then I kind of got to a point where I realized, I'd been watching a lot of different news and people yelling about masks and people yelling about going back to school and wanting their kids to go back to school for some reason. And I just kind of pictured this future where, the more and more that our coping as people affects other people's lives in a way that comes off as inhumane, or just comes off in a way where it's kind of, throwing people to the dogs, which is one thing that I kind of tried to bring up in that short story. I think that we could get further and further away from you know, even understanding what is inhumane and what isn't inhumane. And even the one line that I wrote that I wanted to phrase very specifically was that line where I was describing that I wonder if this woman who works there knows that, you know, or sorry, no, that she said that it is better for them to consider what's happening to be humane instead of trying to think that these children aren't human. And because those are the only two ways that she could do her job. This is either humane or they're not children, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do my job and do inhumane things. So yeah, I mean, it definitely took a dark turn for me, and it took me down this place that I was just kind of painting a future where if we continue to think that we need to do things so that we can cope, that affect other people negatively, specifically our children, then you know, we might get to a point where that line between coping and inhumanity is so fuzzy that people don't even see it anymore, you know?
You know, it's funny that you brought that up because I have a cousin who I think is around the same age. Well, I don't want to bring up your age, but he has an artist, a musician that he really enjoys, and the person got accused of child molestation, and we were having a good time one night in a group, and he had a little too much to drink or whatever, but in a good way, because we were able to have this good conversation. But he was saying that, and I think it might have to do with the changing of times. So LBGTQP, or P as in, what's the word for
Pansexual?
pedophile?
Oh, never mind. Okay, not it.
Yeah. So he's seeing this kind of like, he's totally, like, I don't even know how to say it. He's extremely intelligent, and he was taking this in a like almost as if you could have sex with anyone.
Okay.
And this artist was so it was like kind of like, oh, like I don't know if that's related in some way.
So you're speaking of the fact that he's talking about this is the world. Carter's, and let me get this straight so I can make sure that I'm extrapolating what you're saying and making sure that we're all on the same page. Carter's piece and what Carter created from your piece really painted a dystopia where if we continue to go where we go in disconnection, people will have to do the things that make effects on kids' freedom and creativity and innocence by doing their job because of the distance and the. Am I right, Carter? Am I on the same?
Yeah,
wave?
I mean, it's pretty close. I'm open to many different interpretations. I mean, what I had written in the way that I saw it is that it was kind of this near future where where these kids were put into kind of be guinea pigs for any disease. I wasn't specifically talking about COVID, but something in which they have to wear masks. And it just in this vague but inhumane society where they're like, oh, well, we need guinea pigs to figure out, how we're going to solve our issues and solve, whatever pandemic that we're in. And it was just kind of like, this dystopian kind of like Twilight Zone, Black Mirror kind of society where you have these people, in this room kind of in a cage. And the thing that I was painting was this quote unquote last days adoption program, which was because some adult is already dying. The most humane thing that they can do is allow these kids out and have a family for a couple days with someone that's already dying. So it doesn't matter if they get this disease that these kids have. But I mean, yet again, I was open to interpretation. I don't think I don't know what we were talking about when it comes to LGBTQ, but I mean, whatever you got out of it, you know, I'm interested in.
And thank you for sharing that, Ashley. What was the original, Ashley, I have a question for you before we go into our next conversation. What was the heart and inspiration behind the piece that you created originally?
So I actually created the piece a few years ago.
Okay.
It was part of a series that I had been working on, and I had never presented it, and I had always been excited about it. I have multiple drawings that are related. When I first moved to Philadelphia, after 10 years or so of living on my, or more of living by myself, I had come here and I had a roommate, and I had no space for a studio. Now, that's something that a lot of people don't have. And I had one, and I was like, realize what I had lost. So I began to go back to just, using paper and markers, and started to just have this meditative process where I was just really excited about being here and just exploring the fabric of Philadelphia. And so I, began to make these marking drawings. And that's really it. I mean, I would hold them all up, but the thing is that it's hard to see with my background.
It's all good. Maybe we can take pictures of it, and maybe we can figure out a way in the comments of the YouTube section to post the actual picture in there, and then that way people can interact. And I don't want to pause this, but I want to get to other conversations. But I want to say the beautiful thing about these conversations is that you can see what your work go into a dystopia, or then it brings up a cousin, dealing with the fact that one of his favorite artists is saying problematic comments. And that's the beautiful about the Rockin' Robin and the sharing. So it's no judgment. It's just, it is what it is. And I thank you, Ashley, for who you are as an artist and creative. And Carter, I thank you again for expressing what was inspired by it. So Carter, I'm gonna pass it to you, and you are gonna facilitate the next conversation between the next folks, I believe, between Ashley and Scott. So take it away, Carter.
Yeah. Hello. So Scott, if you want to turn your camera back on and your video. Scott.
Okay, I'm coming back.
Very cool.
Am I here?
Yeah, there you are. So yeah, the first question that I want to ask you, Scott, the response that Ashley had to that video that you sent her. What did you think?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I liked how her response seemed thoughtful and sincere. It makes me think about how I met Ashley at the garden, and then she was looking for a place to stay, and then I told her she should try and live here, and now she's living here. And I like that about this area, this serendipity. And now she's like part of my home, my environment. And and honestly, I don't know what she could have gleaned from what I sent her. I was kind of curious. But I like that it got the wheels turning, and it makes me think that I could have sent her anything, and she just sort of needed, or it just was.
Yeah, for the event.
So just the act of doing this is a nice way of generating some interesting activity.
Yeah, and Ashley, what was there anything specific in that video that really inspired what you wrote?
Well, yeah, I mean, just the idea of, I I don't even think it's an idea. I think it's a feeling of existence in general. I mean, anytime something is inserted into our body and brain, where everything is hits us in one way or another. So I, you know, had seen it, and again, my initial reaction was, this is really interesting, and I was excited about it, and I let it sit with me for a while, and um wasn't exactly sure what I would do, but I ended up, I think, like Scott had mentioned, making something and could have sent me anything. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because at the end of the day, feeling inspired, especially by someone in my building, and being inspired by someone who has had the amount of experience you have had, Scott, you know, various things you have told me about your life on the, and I mean, some personal stuff. So when that stuff is shared with one friend to another, that's going to impact how, a friend to a friend, that's going to impact their experiences on the day to day. So that's what I have to say about that.
Very cool. And did you guys have titles for both of those pieces?
I don't have a title, no. Mm-mm.
Scott?
Well, I guess it was Sniper.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna move on to the next one with Matt and Scott. So thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Matt, if you want to turn on your camera.
And then info. Did you take the feedback? You have
Yeah,
to.
Scott, I just want to ask you what you thought about the about the piece that Matt gave you.
It's gonna be bad feedback.
That's funny. So,
Yeah, well, what were your first thoughts, Scott, when you got that piece?
when I got what?
When you got that piece from Matt,
Oh.
what were your first thoughts?
Well, oh man. Well, yeah, I mean, it's cool because like Ashley was saying, like she knows me and I know Matt. I've gotten to know Matt through Ashley,
Mhm.
and now I'm getting like this piece, not from him, but also of him.
Yeah.
In a sense, and frankly, I got these words that he also he said this is either a poem or lyrics, and it's funny because lately I've been really into music and writing and recording music and actually getting words from lyricists. So I was like, cool, some more words. But and I read this and I was like, oh man, like this is something I never would have written. And that's not to say that, for good or bad reasons. It's just, I wouldn't have thought of it.
Gotcha.
And so I was sort of like stumped. But, and what I realized, it's sort of like it's like a protest song, I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan lately. And it's like, this is like, get some Bob Dylan vibe to it, believe it or not. And which it's cool because it kind of made me realize something about the way I approach, expressing things creatively. And I realized that I'm really not politically motivated in that way, or at least, directly. And here's something that's, really going at it. You know, and all our contemporary issues happening. And so, well, one, when I went to make my work, I forgot what media I said that I do. I don't, sometimes I just write something different every time. And I was like, I had to go back like, oh yeah, performance. So I wanted to make it performance based, and then, you know.
Yeah, and Matt, what did you think of that response performance?
All right. Well, so first I'll say that Scott's interpretation, I think Bob Dylan's a big inspiration to myself. So yeah, it was kind of that kind of feeling of, so I'm glad it came off the way I was trying to, of like a protest or a kind of enlightenment and like uplifting slash statement song. And then the response, yeah, I think it was spot on. It kind of made me feel the same kind of like energy, and brought up like what kind of, you know, pain that was happening or anything else. And it's kind of just like, to me, I heard from his song and from his performance of the, you can have fun and still like still have motivation to make changes while having fun and while having like a mindset of not everything that you feel through anger is something that will make you like evil, bad, something else. Like anger could be fun and positive too.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, is Starfire back?
I'm right here. I'm right here. Hello.
Hello.
All right, Scott. Listen, y'all better make the anthems that make the soul's heart sing on their journey. We're gonna have the last conversation before we throw it over to the audience participation and questions. Scott, if you could mute your video and your sound. First of all, Carter, you know, the one thing I
Hello.
like about people sharing the authenticity of their personal experiences is that it cannot be challenged or denied. This is your personal experience, and no matter how it makes you personally feel, it is what it is. So first of all, it's way to communicate the way to communicate you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we all do ups and downs, but it takes a level of clarity to be able to inspire it. And I personally like the vibration between you and then you, Matthew, going on. I have to wear this tie taken off, putting this emoji face, and then being able to put out. Can you just show the quote again? Because that is not only quotable, that should be on a t-shirt. I am life, love all that I am. And I just think
Great,
that, like,
yeah.
what a beautiful holistic balance to something that is so triggering and so traumatizing to an identity of a human being, and for some other person to tell you who you are. And then, but anyway, talk about it. Carter, Matt, what'd you feel when you read the piece? Because is this your first time hearing the piece as well?
It's my first time seeing his piece, but
Oh, okay, right. Because you wrote it first. I got confused. My bad. It's the martini. So Matt, when you got Carter's piece, did you only have it reading wise, and this is your first time hearing him read it, or how'd you get it?
Yeah, so I got it through Google Docs. So
this is your first time hearing him read it.
Yeah, so it was the first time fully hearing how he wanted it to be portrayed. But I kind of thought the same way hearing it, that he delivered it. I mean, of course, he delivers it excellently. So, I mean,
Get him, Carter.
well, I mean, he wrote the piece and then he has the emotion behind it. So, like, I can imagine what he would have in that imagine. But, like, when I first read it, like, the first thing I felt was, like, sadness. And then I was like, you know what? No, actually, I feel uplifting. Let me give a message of what I want to feel. And that's, you know, what everyone should feel. So that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some fun with this. I'm not making fun of what he's doing. I want to bring a positive outtone to, like, okay, you know what? We aren't boxes. We aren't and I had like 4 or 5 different pieces that I was making prior to this, and I was like, you know what? One was like too structured. Another one, I was starting to write something. It just seemed like it just wasn't getting it. And then all of a sudden, a day ago, I just kind of threw everything away and said, no, what do I feel with it? Instead of like trying to say something, I just let my emotions take over, and that's what it ended up is what I felt with it.
I'd also want to point out how I love how it gets back to the childlike wonder. And I think Carter and I, when we had a conversation, like when you're growing up as kids, you don't know that you're not magical. You don't know that you can't do something. And it's usually an adult that tells you, well, you're in this box, so you can't do this. Or who do you think you are to define yourself in 2 lanes when society says you can't be that way? So I love the idea. And after I say this, I'm going to throw it back to you, Carter. I love the idea of the childlike, because I don't know if everybody else can speak to it, but I remember, I think it's like second or first grade, either first, second, and third, we learn kindness and appreciate differences. And I know we had to make these charts where you had to put your name and like put who you were, like kind, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And we all had to share it. And it was a way in which we were able to appreciate everybody's differences and make them feel safe. So I loved the idea of how what you shared, Carter, was so raw and visceral in your experience. And you brought it back to what it is to be a child. And hey, I am insecure. I might be this. I might have light and dark within me, but I still am me, and I'm going to love me for who I am. And I get to define who that is. So Carter, what did you think of what Matt did with your piece?
I thought it was cool. As soon as he started taking off his tie, I was like, oh yeah, performance. I did like it. Yeah, and I was wondering, because I know that you had mentioned to me that you had decided on an art piece, and I was very interested in what it was going to be. And to be honest, it's actually just really nice and hopeful, that kind of, because originally I think I told you that I was, I felt bad about what I sent you, because I was like, I don't want to make you feel like you have to, preach or anything. But what you did was beautiful, and thank you for that response.
Thank you.
Listen, this is what's happening right now. We're sharing. We went from everywhere. We went from Jupiter to Mars to Uranus to Neptune. We went on all the globe. Listen, this is happening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Carter, is there any questions from the audience? Any feedback?
No,
Not yet. But listen,
not yet. Yeah, you guys got a little bit of time before we stop to ask any questions. You can do it in the Facebook group, or the Facebook event in discussions, or you can do it on the YouTube video that you're watching. I can see that you guys are still watching, so you're welcome to comment, ask us any questions. You have us for a little bit of time to just, give us the support about, what you saw tonight. And then in addition to that, ask us any personal question that you might have about our inspiration, or where, or to dissect any of our pieces if, we are so inclined. Scott, you're welcome to come back as well.
Yeah, Scott, come on back. Now, I have a question for everybody in the mix, because, I was just guiding the process. How do you feel now that you have been, well, not you, Carter, you're a VIP Rockin' Robin, but how do you feel, Matt, Ashley, Scott, going through this unique process now that it's already happened? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Really briefly while we funnel in these questions. Hey, Kat.
This is my proxy.
Hey. How do you feel, Scott, going through this Rockin' Robin process?
It's interesting. I've never done anything like this before. I was telling my therapist this morning that.
Oh, we're showing cats. Meow.
I like, oh shit, what's that? I was interested to do this because this format makes people focus more on the work. And I think about like going to galleries and shit, and how like, it's so demoralizing. You see people just having like unrelated conversations with their back to the work, blocking it and stuff. Has like, people just aren't engaged. And this is like, well, what are you going to do? We're not going to sit here and have some stupid small talk while the work's on display. We have to talk about it. And I think that's cool. It's, you know, it's one of those like nice things to come out of this situation with the pandemic.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
No, I was saying, go ahead, Ashley, go ahead. Take it. It's yours. You got the ball of sharing. Share it up.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think it's amazing to have a conversation going. It takes a little bit of willpower because, you know, every day is something, you know, hard. But other than that, you know, we gotta continue to, I appreciate that. And I feel grateful that I'm in a community where folks are continuing to express themselves through the media they need to, you know, whether it's cooking or, you know, even just obsessively, compulsively, you know, doing their, you know, eyebrows or, you know, whatever it is. You know, whatever that makes us
Why
feel
you calling me out, man? It's embarrassing.
good.
That was that personal thing I shared with you that you didn't mention.
No, it's not.
What about you,
What are you
Matthew?
gonna do?
How you feel going through this experience?
Oh, I mean, I enjoyed the creativity. I enjoyed everyone's words, and I mean, like with it, you know, to jump off, you know, what Scott said with like, you know, pandemic and stuff. It's just fun to see all the creativity that people can just come up with, whether it's, you know, seems like it's dark, but still being okay to go and release it, and then it just, you know, makes me feel more comfortable to be more vulnerable in the situation and want to, you know, create more pieces to, you know, support others.
Carter, I don't know where you go, but I'm gonna ask you, boo, because you shared. I guess
Well, what was the question again?
the question was, how do you feel having? Well, you're an OG to this, an original gangster to this Rockin' Robin. For you, I'm gonna ask a different question. Was doing it this time with these set of folks and these parameters and this environment different for you? Can you talk about how it was inspirational, however you feel, having already done this type of sharing, and now that you're doing it again?
I enjoyed it. It is an interesting forum to do over Zoom, and I actually do really, and I really do enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, the differences were very much just it being on Zoom and the people. And in reality, I think the thing that I really enjoyed was that we all kind of did different forms of medium for our original piece and our response piece, and I think I think that's really cool.
Switching it up,
the 2 times that I've
showing the
done before,
variety.
yeah, the 2 times that I've done it before, people came like just prepared and were like, "Hey, I'm just an artist, or just a musician, or I just write this, or I just do that," and you know, that was it was cool. I enjoyed it.
Does anybody, if we don't have any questions, do we have any questions?
We got one. I
Come
think we
on
will.
through with the
I think
question,
we'll-
Carter. What is it?
It is. For each of you, do you feel your art thrives most when inspiration for your art is driven by you and internal things, or does it thrive most when your inspiration is external?
Oh, that's a good one. Who wants to take that one?
But who asked that question?
Who's
Maybe they
Renee?
want to be anonymous.
Why
Why don't we hear it again one more time?
Well, give it for Renee? We should.
Yay! All right, go ahead. Everybody can ask. Carter, what's the question again?
It is. Yeah. So, like, do you find that your art that your art thrives most when inspiration for your art is driven by you and the internal things, or does it thrive the most when it's inspired by external things, similar to this project being driven by external things?
Oh, that's a good question. I can answer that question for me. Actually, I'm not answering. I didn't do it, but I do have responses.
No, answer.
Answer it.
Let y'all answer first because y'all did the work. I'm just guiding the vibe of the night.
Yeah, I think I would say, what, I think I would say that, I actually do find that I thrive more when I'm inspired by external things. For some, I think that I think that my strengths are also my biggest weaknesses, and that is that generally I'm very critical of myself. So when I'm inspired by the things inside of me, I end up feeling like tweaking it, like, I tweaked that, that other project, that dystopian short story, quite a bit, and was kind of happy with some of the, like, lines in it and some of the rhyming that I did, and just, well, the first thing, that monologue felt very raw, and it felt like something that I would go back and try to tweak, but like I didn't really feel like I could touch it that much because it was something internal. You know what I'm saying? When I get to be inspired by somebody else, my brain goes wild. But being inspired by my own thing, sometimes I do find myself having to stop because I get too deep into my own emotions.
Gotcha. Good, Matt. I'm going to you, Matt.
All right, yeah. So myself, I think it's better whenever it's external,
Mhm.
because just then I'm not looking internal as much, and then I have to look, just because of society and everything else kind of made me think of, judgment and other stuff. So like on myself, it's kind of sometimes difficult to run with it because I feel or think, I'm letting something out of the bag that someone's going to look at me differently. But, with this type of event, it kind of allows me to react to somebody else's post of like what they feel. And then I can say what I feel. And then now I'm like, okay, they're okay with how I feel. And then it kind of bridges the gap to allow me to then have something that's me and something external, if that makes sense.
It sure does. Right on the nail. Come on, brilliant Ashley. Speak to him, Ashley. Let us know what you're thinking. Are you inspired internally, externally? And I have a bonus question for you because you do a lot of meditation as well. And so how does that, as a bonus sauce, affect what's going on internally and externally through your meditative art practices as well?
Yeah, so it's definitely internal. I internalize a lot. So once I get it out out of me, that is what satisfies me. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I mean, external forces are gonna make me feel certain ways. So, but it's all internal for me.
Inside. Scott, what about you? Scott, big morning. You on mute, baby. You on mute. Unmute you so we can hear that brilliance.
Now?
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's funny. I think I was having some kind of existential moment there, and I was like, "What is it?" I really asked myself, and and maybe it's the acid, but
I know you got a trip.
but I don't know. I don't have a distinction between internal and external.
Okay, it's
We're all
all one.
yeah, we're all one.
Got you. Thank you. Oh no, go ahead, keep going. Oh, something else is coming. I can tell it when you go into the vortex.
One keeps putting one foot in front of the other.
Mhm.
Oh, it was external. Oh no, it was internal. And I don't even know what that means. I mean, I honestly just do this stuff because it's, it doesn't make any sense and it's fun. Right? So
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it was something that prompted me. I had a rough day and here's my therapy. Or maybe it was something that had nothing to do with anything happening that day. And I just started doing it. Actually, that makes me want to just say, just to refute all what I just said and say, it is external. It's external. This shit wouldn't fucking happen. You think I'd be doing this right now if you guys weren't involved and there was this thing, like I wouldn't be doing. Like, how could I get your face on here, Christina? If you weren't involved, it's like this. So yeah, it's. I mean, that's kind of cool. to kind of underscore this whole show, round robin, and how it really is just bringing attention to the fact that it is external. You know,
Mm,
you won't do something unless there's a call for it outside,
mm.
right?
Right, facts. Got to answer the
Let's hear about
call of
that.
art. Woo, that was Carter. Any other questions, Carter? Any questions from anybody?
I just want you to play your favorite version of that song to end us off, I think.
All right, listen, y'all. We're wrapping up. I want to give quick shout outs. Thank you so much, Matt Workmeister. Thank you, Ashley Ernest. Thank you, Scott Bickmore. Thank you, Carter Ford. Thank you, Renee Horst and NKCDC. Shout out to Felicia Is it Moten or Morton? Moten. Felicia, thank you, Felicia. We love you, Felicia. We're not saying bye, Felicia. We're saying thank you. Hello. Shout out to everybody who supported. Thank y'all for watching. Feel free, if you watch this video later, to continue to comment on the YouTube stream, ask us questions, and please, please support art, support individual artists. Artists need support. That's emotionally, spiritually, especially it's a pandemic. Throw them coins up, okay? Hello, you know, so that artists like that. And if you loved what we did tonight and you were like, wow, that was really amazing. How can I be a part of it? How can I create something? Feel free to hit up, comment on the YouTube, or hit up Carter. Do you want to give them your email address? You want to put them your emails out so they can reach out to you?
I think they'd reach out to Renee.
Okay, we're going to put
about-
Renee's information in the description. Go to Renee's
Yeah.
information. Renee, and y'all continue artists everywhere. You
What's your
are a
home
source.
address?
Huh? What'd you say?
What's your home address?
No,
We
not
all
home
have the,
address.
we all have the same home address.
Someone might need it. Just put it out there.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So hit Renee up. Hit if you want to be a part of this. This is something that we all decide to come together to see how it works. Thank y'all for rocking out with us. We wish you much creativity and inspiration. And I'm going to play the Rockin' Roggin song from the Jackson 5. Wait, go ahead, Matt. You got something to
Yeah,
say? You got
I'm going to say something real quickly. I just want to thank you, Starfire, for doing an amazing job by being the host with the greatest and the most. And Carter, you were doing kind of two roles too. But she went and thanked you. No one thanked Starfire, so I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You were amazing. You brought the energy. You allowed us to. You brought the tough questions to us, so I just wanted to, do a shout out to you right at the end.
You know what, Matt? It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor creating space, sharing it with y'all. I hope this inspires you to create. You might want to do your version. And if you want to, like I said, if you want to get a piece to inspire a piece and do a riff on what you saw tonight, listen, let's keep this Rockin' Robin going. Stay up, stay creative. Let me find this on YouTube. Hold up, Rockin' Robin. We're going to, who wants to hear? What version you want to hear? You want to hear the Jackson 5 joint?
Jackson 5.
Yeah,
All right,
Jackson 5.
Jackson
Let me
5.
go to my library for my history. All right. Tweety. Okay, that's a commercial. And
Everyone just zone